Have you ever considered how trials and temptations shape our character and faith? Just as a diamond is formed under pressure, our faith too is refined and strengthened through the trials and temptations we face. These experiences, often challenging and uncomfortable, are paramount in fostering perseverance, maturity, and growth in our faith. They are the crucibles that mold us, shaping our character and deepening our understanding of faith. It's a profound concept, isn't it? Let's delve deeper into the wisdom of James chapter 1. James starts with a reassurance that trials of any kind should be considered pure joy. Imagine walking through a desert, the sun beating down on you, your throat parched, and yet you find a sense of elation in the struggle. This is the perspective James encourages us to adopt. He paints trials not as burdens to bear, but as stepping stones towards spiritual growth. The desert is not a punishment. It's a path to self-discovery and refinement. In James's narrative, trials are akin to a blacksmith's forge. The hammering, the heat, the relentless pounding may seem harsh, but it's this very process that shapes a lump of metal into a useful tool or a beautiful piece of art. Similarly, the trials we face are designed to test our faith, to mold us, to refine us. They are a crucible in which our character is shaped and steadfastness is forged. But what is steadfastness? It's more than just tenacity or endurance. It's an unwavering commitment to hold on, to keep faith even when the world around us seems to crumble. It's the ability to remain joyful, even in the midst of trials. It's the understanding that our trials, no matter how difficult, are temporary, while the growth we achieve through them is eternal. James emphasizes the importance of letting steadfastness have its full effect. This means not rushing through our trials, not seeking quick fixes or easy escapes. It means embracing the process, understanding that it is through enduring trials that we grow and mature in our faith. He assures us that the result of such steadfastness is perfection and completeness in faith, lacking in nothing. Imagine that, emerging from trials more refined, more resilient, more complete than before. Our trials, therefore, are not reasons for despair, but opportunities for growth and spiritual maturation. They are the chisels that shape us into the best versions of ourselves, equipped to face any challenge that comes our way. So, trials aren't necessarily negative, but rather opportunities for growth and spiritual maturation. James then moves on to the topic of wisdom. But what happens when we doubt? In the third scene of our exploration of James chapter 1, we delve into the subject of wisdom and the role doubt plays in our pursuit of it. James, in his profound wisdom, encourages believers to ask God for wisdom. He emphasizes the importance of asking without doubting, with a heart full of faith and trust in the divine. But why without doubting? Well, James gives us an explanation. He describes a person who doubts as being like a wave of the sea, driven and tossed by the wind. This image paints a picture of instability, of uncertainty, of being at the mercy of external influences. It's a striking metaphor that illustrates the implications of being double-minded and unstable in all our ways. James suggests that doubting leads to instability, not just in our spiritual lives, but in all areas of our existence. A doubting mind, torn between faith and unbelief, is as unpredictable and as uncontrollable as the sea. It is unable to make firm decisions and is constantly wavering between different opinions and courses of action. The question then is, how can we ask for wisdom without doubting? The answer is simple yet profound. We must approach God with unwavering faith, with a steadfast belief in His ability to provide what we ask for. We must believe that God gives generously to all without finding fault. Wisdom, as James presents it, is not just about knowledge or intelligence. It's about understanding, discernment, and the ability to make right decisions. It's about living a life that is pleasing to God, and this kind of wisdom, according to James, comes only from God. So, next time you find yourself in need of wisdom, remember James' advice. Approach God with confidence, without doubting, and ask for wisdom. Believe that He will provide, for He gives generously to all. Wisdom, according to James, is a divine gift we should seek with unwavering faith. James doesn't shy away from the sensitive topic of wealth and poverty. He advocates for a profound shift in our perspective on material wealth and social status. In his eyes, the brother in humble circumstances, the one society might overlook, is to take great pride in his exalted position. Is not about physical wealth or societal standing, but about the richness of faith, the abundance of spirit, and the wealth of character. This is the true exaltation James talks about, and it's available to everyone regardless of their material circumstances. On the flip side, James urges the rich to take pride in their humiliation. This is not a call for self-degradation, but a reminder of the fleeting nature of material wealth. The rich, like a wildflower, may bloom brightly for a moment, but will eventually fade away. The riches that once sparkled so brightly will tarnish and crumble, just as a wildflower withers under the scorching sun. James's words are an invitation to see beyond the facades of wealth and poverty, and to recognize the transitory nature of our earthly life. The material possessions we amass, the social status we attain, these are but temporary. What endures is our faith, our character, and our deeds. In the grand scheme of things, wealth holds no true value, does it? It's the richness of spirit, the wealth of character, and the abundance of faith that truly matter. Finally, James warns of the dangers of unchecked temptation. He paints a vivid picture of how temptation, when given room to grow, births sin. And sin, when fully formed, leads to death. It's a chilling cascade, one that begins with a seemingly harmless desire but ends in a life-altering consequence. James implores us not to be deceived. The allure of temptation is misleading, and the path it sets us on is far from the truth. But amidst this warning, James also brings us a message of hope. He speaks of perfect gifts, of good gifts. These come from above, from the Father of lights, with whom there is no variation or shadow due to change. These gifts, unlike temptation, lead not to death but to life. They are the embodiment of God's unwavering goodness, a goodness that is steadfast and sure. James leaves us with a sobering reminder of the destructive power of sin, but also the unwavering goodness of God. As we've seen, James chapter 1 is a rich tapestry of wisdom and guidance. It teaches us the importance of facing trials with joy, nurturing steadfastness. It invites us to seek wisdom with unwavering faith, acknowledging the ephemeral nature of wealth and the shared experience of rich and poor in life's transience. And crucially, it warns us of the dangers of unchecked temptation, leading to the birth of sin. As you navigate life's trials and temptations, remember James's words and find joy, wisdom, and caution in them.